Hey everyone, how is it going? Got a little bit of a small crowd tonight, but that is okay. Kind of an impromptu stream. I've been working on some other business related things when it comes to Nintendo Prime that maybe I will detail at a future date if anything comes of it. Just give a shout out to some people that were said something in the chat. We got Corey Bohm, who's here, Zumakito, Yoshi underscore 8888, Mr. Hippo. Let me see, Joel Putz says, what's up tonight? Not a whole lot, man. Still trying to wrap up my dang Yoshi review. Oh, man, it's been... The issue with the Yoshi review isn't really the game itself, or like, it's me just wrapping up my, like, actually beating the game and finding the time to actually do that. I'm hoping tomorrow after the Milwaukee Bucks playoff game, I'll finally get to just sit down for 3 hours and just wrap that game up. I'm pretty close to being done. The review has a lot of it already written and some of it edited, but I need to finish it so I can come to a definitive conclusion. But it is what it is. Otherwise, it's been kind of a day of recovery after spending some time out with some friends last night. I am feeling great, however. Endless Paladin is here as well. You really need to get crafty with it. Vincent Casanova, welcome. What games do I want on Switch? That's a pretty good question. What games do I want on Switch? I mean, everything. If we're just talking personally the games that I care about most, I really want Madden on Switch. I'm a big proponent of Madden. I like Madden. It's the only NFL game that exists, so I would love that on Switch. MLB The Show, which will never come to Switch because it's exclusive to PlayStation, but I mean, some sort of really high-quality baseball game that's not RBI baseball would be nice. So 2K, hey, 2K out there, if you could like make a baseball game again, that'd be great. Beyond that, just I think games that a lot of people want, like Kingdom Hearts 3. They just announced some DLC for the game. It'd be great if Kingdom Hearts 3 could come to Switch. Red Dead Redemption 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, the next Assassin's Creed, the prior two Assassin's Creed games, which were really good. It'd be nice to have natively on Switch, not just available through streaming only in Japan. I mean, the list kind of just goes on and on. There really isn't much that I don't want to see on Nintendo Switch. Every indie game in existence, I think, should just be on Switch. So a better question is, what don't I want on Switch? Because there's probably very few games that I don't want on Switch. I was just gonna say Madden. Yeah, dude, Madden, man. I'm a big sports gamer. I love sports games. You guys should know it's been out with NBA 2K19. I bought that every year for Switch and on the Xbox One X as well. I really like sports games, especially if sports I actually am a fan of, like basketball, baseball, football, American football. I guess I should be more specific there. Jermaine McBounds, welcome. Aaron Peterman is here as well. He says, what's your favorite Switch accessory? That is a very good question because there are Switch accessories and then there's like the ones you actually use, right? Because obviously, you have accessories like cases, travel cases. Let me actually grab a couple accessories I actively use. 1 second here. All right. So first thing I actively use, and no, this is not like a sponsored video, or I don't have affiliate links to any of this stuff. Like, this is my travel case. I have reviewed a bunch of cases on this channel, and this is the one that I use. I like this one specifically because you could fit, this in here, the Joy-Con grip, and a full-size charger over here. You could fit in this pouch, along with, like 20-something physical carts, and then obviously it fits the Switch in just fine. It has a little pull-up thing to pull it out. This is my preferred Switch travel case. It's a little bit bigger than some of the slim ones, but again, the slim ones you can't bring like your charge cable with, all that stuff. This is probably my most used Switch accessory because anytime I take the Switch out of the house, this comes with. Beyond that, obviously, I have my Pro Controller replacement. I have had zero issues with this. This is the Power A wireless controller. It does suck because it uses AA batteries, so you're not getting a recharging controller, and there's no rumble, and there's no NFC support, so no amiibo support. But I've had a lot of issues with the Nintendo Switch Pro controllers in terms of stick grind. I have had zero stick grind with these. Like literally, I'm looking at the sticks right now. There is no grind on them. And so what happened when I was getting the grind is it was creating drift. So I'm not getting drifting problems. The sticks click in, all the buttons are good. The D-pad is actually really great on this as well compared to the OG Pro controller. You also get the 2 buttons on the back, which I don't really use, but I know some people like to remap buttons. You can remap these buttons to anything. The stick clicks, the buttons, the shoulder buttons, whatever. You can kind of remap it if you want. And yeah, it's brilliant. This is... I like this almost more than the Pro controller. The only reason to favor the Pro controller over this is because it is rechargeable, and obviously has the HD Rumble and the NFC support. And I like the Switch Pro controller, but I've gone through like 4 of them. Literally, I've burned through 4 Switch Pro controllers in under 2 years. I don't know when I'm going to buy another Switch Pro controller, but I honestly probably will just buy more of these, and I'm hoping a model comes out with at least basic Rumble. Rumble, I think, is the only thing I miss, and I don't really miss it as much as I thought I would, but it would be nice to have it back. So maybe a version of this with Rumble would be cool, but that's another of my most used accessories. I literally use this almost daily when I'm playing Switch in docked mode. Beyond that, those are the ones I use the most. I have a power bank. I have that RAV Power power bank that I reviewed ages ago. I've got 2 of them. I use those all the time when I'm on the go. I usually use it with the official Nintendo cable, but I've also been having a lot of luck with this cable. This is just a random one I bought at Best Buy. Just a nice braided USB-C charging cable. I actually bought it for my phone, but I've been using it with my Switch, and I don't know if Nintendo updated their software or whatever, but I've had no issues charging my Switch with this. So there were issues with Switch charging and different cables and different power banks, a while back, over a year ago. I think those issues are all gone now because I've had no issues. I still have my original day one Nintendo Switch. So that's been another go-to accessory with those power banks. It's nice to have those on the go. I have a 10,000 milliamp hour, a 15,000 milliamp hour, and a 21,000 milliamp hour power banks to take with me. That I'll obviously use to charge my phone once in a while too. Beyond that, I don't really use a ton of them. I had the Switchblades somewhere. I use once in a while. The Switchblades are those things that you slide on the side of your Switch when it's in docked mode with your Joy-Cons attached to just make it look a little more stylish. I use those once in a blue moon. Usually for tabletop mode because they have like kickstands on them, and I broke the kickstand on my Switch. So having the extra kickstands are nice in tabletop mode. But otherwise, I don't really use a ton of accessories right now. Screen protector. I think that's pretty basic. I think having a screen protector on your Switch is just like on your phone. It's kind of a standard these days. So I have tempered glass screen protector. Usually, actually, there's not one on my Switch right now because I broke my last one. I got to order some more. But yeah, otherwise, there isn't a ton of accessories I actively use. But obviously, the controller, the travel case, and the power bank are like the 3 big ones that I almost view as are like essentials that I use. So. Let me see here. Mario Sluggers for Switch. Heck yeah. NHL would be dope. Yeah, see, I'm not a big Vincent Casanova. I'm not a big NHL fan, but obviously for those that are, I could see why you'd really want that on the Switch. Shadow King 1982 says, do you think people are overreacting to the announcement of Persona 5 Scramble? Well, define overreacting. The only people I see overreacting to Persona 5 Scramble on Switch, and it's coming to, I think, PlayStation 4 too, is that people are trying to rub it in the face of certain YouTubers and other people that were trying to act like Persona 5 is coming. Surprisingly, no one's rubbed it in my face. Then again, I've never been a direct source for any Persona 5 rumors. I've just talked about the rumors that are out there. So maybe that's why I've received less backlash after that announcement. I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, it's another Musou game like Fire Emblem Warriors and Hyrule Warriors. It's another Musou game, so it's another warrior-style game. It's Persona related. We're getting it on Switch. I think it's awesome that we're getting it on Switch. I'd rather have it on Switch than not. Do I think it's a huge deal for the future of Persona on Switch? No. Do I think this is kind of like a big, hey, look, this is your Persona 5 on Switch? Probably. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know like what people are saying about it because I haven't really paid a lot of attention. I didn't report on it. I was going to make a video on it, but I had 2 other videos come out, and I didn't really feel like I had a good slot to talk about Persona 5 Scramble. I might talk about it on a future live stream, like an MP Live next week. We might just bring that up as a topic to talk about. But I haven't seen a ton of the backlash over it because I haven't really been reading people's responses. So what do you guys think about that game coming to Switch? So because, okay, what games don't I want on Switch? I'm okay if we don't get the dating simulators out of Japan. I'm cool. We can do without those. Then again, if they are on Switch, it's not like I'm going to care. I'm just not going to play them. Would I support a new Sony hybrid? Says Jermaine McMounds. You mean like their own version of Switch? You know, their own like making Vita, but making a portable PlayStation 4 that's dockable and all that? Sure. I mean, I'm not, like, just because I'm a Nintendo guy doesn't mean I love tech. I love tech above all else. So watching Sony attempt to do what Nintendo's doing but try to do it better, let's go. Bring it on. I want to see it happen. And if anything, it'll push Nintendo to be even better. We need a good football game on Switch. Dang it, you're right. If you were going to guess Nintendo's next gimmick, what would you guess? Next gimmick? I mean, is Switch really a gimmick? Gimmicks... Everything kind of starts as a gimmick, I suppose, until it becomes mainstream, and then it's no longer a gimmick. So, motion controls were a gimmick, but they're still around. So, are they really a gimmick anymore? I don't know. I mean, it's not just about gimmick. It's about doing something unique and different. And until Nintendo... I think unless Nintendo's hybrid stuff gets encroached upon, I don't know that Nintendo's going to be doing anything next for quite a while. But if someone does finally encroach upon what Nintendo's doing, does it better, gets more popular doing it, then I think Nintendo will try something else. I don't know what. They kind of made references to game streaming services a few times in the investors meeting. Not that they're making it, but that they think it's an interesting direction for gaming. And I think what that means is Nintendo's aware of it, and they might allow those services to be on Switch. Let's see here. Nani Miller, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Bad late and see us here too. He says, hey Nate, have I seen the 8.0.0 firmware's hidden boost mode feature news? Yes, you mean the boost to the clock speed. So what happened is the CPU clock speed temporarily boosts now to 1.7 gigahertz for those who haven't heard. It only does this seemingly right now, confirmed in Breath of the Wild during load screens. So it basically cuts down the load time on Breath of the Wild massively, but then it downclocks once you're back into gameplay. So basically, it's a way for them to boost the clock up temporarily to increase load times and then cut it back again because they're not going to keep it at 1.7 gigahertz because the Switch would overheat, especially in handheld mode at 1.7 gigs. So it's nice, it's cool. I'm glad that Nintendo found a way to temporarily increase the clock speed to allow such a thing. I'm sure other third parties and other Nintendo games will take advantage of it for loading as well. But it's not really a big deal. Outside of making loading faster, it's not a huge deal. It makes zero difference in actual gameplay. So the boost mode is irrelevant without a complete redesign that actually lets it run at 1.7 gigahertz consistently. I stopped using the Switch in dock because I had a crack at the bottom. I never dropped it. I mean, okay. The crack could happen in handheld mode too. It's just heat. Not a huge deal. The dock isn't causing it, I can tell you that. What's up, Philip? How's it going? Welcome. Shadow King 1982 says, I saw someone attacking Atlas on their Twitter. Okay, someone? I need to see more than just someone. It would have to be a lot of people. Like, I get attacked every day. Like, okay, not really worth talking about. Abarios, welcome. He says, do you think if there was a Switch Pro variant, do you think a more substantial model will release or a more modest one, like Bloomberg article mentioned? What do you think will happen with that? If there was a Switch Pro variant, I think the Switch Pro variant kind of gives it away. It would be a modest upgrade. It would be a more powerful Switch that's a decent boost over the current, but nothing, to write home about. It's not a new generation. The Nikkei article says next generation, which would imply we're not talking about Switch Pro, we're talking about Switch 2. So, do I think, what's more, likely? More of a Switch Pro, more modest, a more new Nintendo 3DS style, which, by the way, new Nintendo 3DS is a big upgrade over 3DS, but it's one that most don't notice. So I think it's going to be more like that. if one exists at all. What Smash Bros. DLC do I want? Banjo and Kazooie and Conquer. And screw it, let's throw some NFL references in there. Let's get some an NFL character in there. Let's I don't know. I mean, pretty much pick your favorite gaming characters that aren't in Smash and ask for them to be in Smash. Crash Bandicoot, why not throw Crash in there? Like, just it's pretty much the way it goes with Smash. Just pick out your favorite IP that isn't represented and throw a character from that game in there. So right now for me, it's Banjo, Kazooie, and Conquer. And if they ever do those, then we'll move on to some other desires, some other wants. Ninja Turtles, that's a good one. College Slam. Ninja Turtles. Shadow King 1982 says, I think there is still a chance of Persona 5 coming to Switch later, once Persona 5 The Royale comes out on PlayStation 4. That is always possible. Again, I don't have any sources at Atlas or anywhere to know anything about potential for Persona 5 on Switch. So most of it's just been, hey, look, we're getting Smash DLC. Now we have Muso. What's next for it? I have no idea. So, and I think there was like Persona Q2 or whatever on 3DS. I don't remember. Something like that. So, yeah, it's Persona. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, you can't rule anything out until it just never happens. Corey Baum says, Eric needs to be playable character in Smash. Oh, Eric. Oh, Eric. Oh, Eric. Oh, YouTube can't even keep up. I click so much. Hold on. YouTube, don't yell at me. Oh my god, YouTube is lagging for me so hardcore right now. Oh, this is funny. Let me close some stuff here. See if I can, I don't know why none of my RAM, my nothing's like maxed out. Maybe it's just Chrome. Chrome can be kind of yuck sometimes. Let me reopen my live stream dashboard here. And why did I put my keyboard on the floor? I don't know. Live stream dashboard here. What's up, Arctic Witch 7780? I see you over on Twitch. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now what I was trying to do is this. Boom, 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 boom. And of course it lags instantly once I get to the back end. What is up with you, YouTube? Come on. Oh, now you should say Google, fix Chrome. YouTube should not be working better on other browsers than it works on your browser, YouTube. Anyways. Maybe if we pop out the chat. Maybe it's just the dashboard. Pop out the chat. So pop out the chat, dang it. I don't know what YouTube is doing. Seriously. What are you doing, YouTube? You know what? Be gone with you. Done with the dashboard. Be gone. The actual live stream is working better than the dashboard, so be gone. Dang dashboard. All right. Let's see here. Mortal Kombat 11 finally got an update on Switch. That's good, Joe Mac. Philip says, what's the point of Square being a publisher if they aren't going to publish games? They just got the Final Fantasy X and X2 Asian version in, and Bandai published it. It's just all about who has better penetration in certain markets. Like, as an example, in the Asian market, Square Enix does not have a very good penetration with various retailers and marketing outlets, and Bandai Namco does. So what often happens is in regions like that, Bandai Namco will step in and handle all the publishing because they kind of own the market there. That happens with Nintendo games in many areas as well, where it'll be like, oh, why is Breath of the Wild being published by X company in this country? Well, because Nintendo doesn't have any penetration in that country. As an example, don't be surprised if you see a bunch of Nintendo games in China labeled as published by Tencent, because Tencent has all of the backbone to get their games out in China. So that's just how that kind of stuff comes along. Just because you're a publisher doesn't mean that you actively have the ability to publish in every country in the whole world. Simon Stevens says, gamers are entitled. I would say people are entitled, but sure. Nothing wrong with a Persona Warriors game. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with it. We can't get everything that we want. If people want to play Persona 5 so bad, they should buy PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Yeah, I don't think it's like entitlement to port bag. I think it's just people not wanting to have to buy multiple platforms and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to play a single game. I don't think that's entitlement. I think that's just people want more games. They want more games. And there's nothing wrong with asking for more games. To me, entitlement would be because I bought Switch, Persona 5 should be there. That's entitlement. But to just ask for a game to come to Switch is not entitlement. That's my opinion, of course. Endless Paladins here, it says, would you want a Kirby and Pac-Man game? You mean like a crossover or just individual games? Individual games, sure. A crossover? I mean, I don't know. Is it any weirder than Mario and Rabbids? It probably could work. Corey Bowman, thoughts on Nintendo's financials? I kind of talked about it in the stream yesterday, and I made a video on it. What am I supposed to say? They look good. Yeah, they undershot their projections, but now they're being conservative this year. I think they're going to overshoot their projections for this year, both software and hardware-wise. And I think Nintendo knows that, but Nintendo doesn't want to get caught with their pants down saying we're going to sell 20 million, and then they only sell 19, but then when they reduce to 19, they only sell 18.75 or something, right? Like, they're being super conservative so they can overshoot. As people often tell me at the channel, you should always under-promise and over-deliver, right? So I have a tendency of over-promising and under-delivering. I think Nintendo did that same thing last year. So this year they're trying to under-promise, knowing they're going to over-deliver. So I think things are fine. Nintendo's great. They made like $1.7 billion in just gross and like net revenue or net profits or whatever. Nintendo's doing great. Of course they're doing great. They were always going to be doing great, whether or not they hit 17 million or not. So they're doing great. And they massively overshot their software projections. And their quarter 4 was huge. Q4 was way bigger than Q4 of the prior year. And that's big. That means Nintendo's off to a hot start here in 2019. And that's saying something considering that the big games were Yoshi and New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. But hey, Yoshi, hello, 1.1 million in 2 days? That a boy, Yoshi. Get her done. Can't tell. My review of Yoshi is probably going to be pretty positive. Let's see here. It's something called Playing on the Go. How about a Pac-Man Odyssey type game? So an open world Pac-Man game kind of thing? Sure. Why not? You know what? Pac-Man can do anything, right? They try to make Pac-Man do anything. Remember when they tried making him into a platformer? So sure. I would think if boost mode could be used during loading, it could also be able to be used for reducing pop-in or to smooth frame dips caused by loading assets. I'm no expert, though. The reason that won't happen, bad latency, is that would mean that they would have to be running 1.7 during gameplay. And running 1.7 during gameplay means you're running it basically at a constant 1.7. And that would overheat the Switch. So that's why it cannot be, just because they can use it to decrease load time isn't gameplay. So they're not going to be able to smooth out frame dips or smooth out loading assets because they cannot run the CPU at 1.7 gigahertz constant. They cannot do it without risking overheating the Switch. So don't expect this boost mode to mean anything other than Nintendo found a way to make load screens and make loading into games faster. That's all they did. They found a way because the Switch can handle a temporary. It's kind of like think about it like turbo boost on a CPU. On your computer, right? So I have a CPU that will turbo boost up to 4.2 gigahertz, but then once it gets to a certain heat threshold, it instantly throttles itself down. Well, Nintendo doesn't let the CPU run at 1.7 long enough to get throttled. So instead, they just run it at 1.7 to load into the game, and then boom, they cut it back because it can't run. The Switch would overheat. They cannot run it at 1.7 in gameplay. It's just not possible. People have already tried to do it. It's not possible. The heating solution is not good enough to dissipate the heat at a constant rate that is safe for consumers. So, no, people need to get over the fact that boost mode means it. Why do they got to make a video on it? Because it's not a big deal. Yes, Nintendo improved load times in a single game, and they will probably apply it to more games in the future, but it has nothing to do with gameplay. Boost mode's irrelevant. It's just irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't say completely irrelevant, but it's irrelevant for gameplay. It's not going to make any difference because they can't run it at that speed all the time. Yeah, Chrome sucks, but kind of forced to use it to view streams. Why? You can watch live streams in Firefox and stuff like that. Heck, you can watch live streams in Internet Explorer if you still have that. So I don't know why you have to use Chrome for that. Heck, you use the YouTube app. You can just download like the app on your phone or whatever. Let me see here. I wanted. Oh yeah, they weren't talking to me. Will Smash overtake Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Clearly. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is almost at 17 million. Smash is almost at 14. Smash is gonna pass it by the end of the year, guaranteed. Let's see here. Will Papyrus be in Smash? I don't know who that is, so I don't know. Zelda Dude Gaming, welcome by the way. Like the name. I'm behind on the news. The Direct announced for E3. Nintendo confirmed they were having a digital event at E3, but they confirmed that before Reggie even left. So there's no. It's not like a new announcement. Nintendo said they were going to do what they always were going to do, and they said that last year. So there's nothing really new here. That's why I didn't report on that as well. I saw some people be like, "Oh, Nintendo confirms." Like Nintendo confirmed it last year. Why do we need to like report that? Oh, because Furukawa mentioned they're going to be at E3 again. Like okay, like they already said they were going to be at E3. It's not news. Do you know that Mario is a sociopath? You can argue Endless Paladin that anyone's a sociopath if you want to start really overanalyzing everything. Philip said, I doubt 1.7 would overheat the Switch. Spawnwave did some extreme heat tests, and it was virtually impossible to make the Switch overheat. That is completely untrue. I could state that for a fact because I have hacked, or I should say I've helped someone hack their Switch, and we have overheated the Switch. You can run the Switch at tons of clock speeds, and it can overheat. It is not impossible to overheat the Switch. I watched Spawnwave's video on it, and he was not running the Switch at a constant 1.7 gigahertz. He did not do the exact test needed to overheat the Switch. His extreme heat test had nothing to do with overclocking. So, I've overclocked and I've seen it overheat. And I've seen the Switch crash and shut down. So, it is not something that you can claim is impossible. And this is in addition to the fact that heating has caused the Switch to bend. It's caused the casing to crack. All of this deals with the structure of the Switch and ruining that integrity as well. So no, you do not want to run it at 1.7. There's a reason the Tegra X1 on the Switch does not run at stock speeds. Okay? The reason is heat. It is a very dinky heat sink in there. It is not like if you actually watch like the open up one of those Shield TVs that run the Tegra X1 at stock, like it's got a beefy heat sink on there in comparison to the Switch. The X1 gives off quite a bit of heat for what it is. Let's see here. Again, I could just state that definitively because I've actually done it. So, let's see here. Shadow King 1982 says, why do you think when companies cheap out on carts, they don't instead make a special or collector's edition that is more expensive but has the whole game on the cartridge? Money. Money, 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 money. Profit Slaughter! Whoop whoop! Hits us with that $1 super chat. Thank you so much, Profit Slaughter, for that support. I appreciate it. Let me pour one out for you here. Thank you so much, my man. I appreciate the support. Cheers. You have popped the cherry for us tonight. All right. So, to get back to the Profit Slaughter hits with another $1. Thank you so much. All right. Cheers, man. Says, when the companies cheap out on carts and don't instead make a spot. It's all money. It's all money, 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 money. That's all it is. It's just money. Nothing really else to say other than that. It's just money. You could argue, well, they make the money back. Yeah, but there's no guarantee they're going to sell the collector's edition. The collector and specials edition, they usually sell less copies of. And if the big thing in the collector's and special edition is, oh, you can spend $90 and get the whole game on a cartridge, what do you think's going to happen? Are people going to buy that, or are they going to buy the $60 version? Well, they can pack more in. Well, then the collector's edition becomes more expensive. So, I think it's just a logistics thing and money. They're just not going to do it. Do you ever think there'll be another Smash Bros? Of course there'll be another one someday. The question is when. Could be a decade off. Who knows? They might skip the next platform and just port over Ultimate. Let me see here. Firefox is even slower than Chrome, and no, you can't view YouTube streams with Internet Explorer. I was watching YouTube streams with Internet Explorer last week. What are you talking about? I was on an old laptop and I was watching YouTube streams. You know that it supports HTML5, right? YouTube can stream with HTML5, and Internet Explorer supports HTML5. The latest, oldest edition of Internet Explorer. I shouldn't say the oldest. The latest, new. I don't know. It's not Internet Explorer's not supported anymore, but yeah. Firefox. I don't know. I don't have an issue with Firefox speed. You can also try other browsers like Safari, Opera, and other stuff like that. Like Chrome is almost though. I have the most issues watching live streams with Chrome than I do anything else. Constantly locks up, constantly crashes, freezes. It's just, ugh. Anyways, Corey Bohm hits us with the $2 Canadiano. Says, please play Nasty Majesty. Man, you're going to make me grab my damn keyboard, aren't you? It's okay. I have my wireless keyboard down on the ground. All right, so we got some Nasty Majesty. What the heck is Nasty Majesty? According to YouTube. Yeah, it could be according to YouTube, but it works. I literally just played it on Internet Explorer last week. I was watching one of Player Essence's streams. All right, I got it. Splatoon 2. Got you, man. Just hold on here. Let me adjust the volume correctly and actually get the right version of it loaded up. Because, no, we don't need the 18-hour repeated version. Let me get this going here for you. It won't work for you? Yeah, it could be a version thing. Could be, I have no idea. I'm not on your end to troubleshoot this. Oh, might help if I didn't mute it. Let me restart here. I'll turn it up a little bit. There you go. Well, maybe down a little bit. My audio's a little low. All right. Yes, the 18-hour version. No, it's not the 18-hour version. All right. Let me scroll down here. Zelda Duke Gaming. Hey, we don't advertise other people's YouTube channels in our streams. It's not something we allow. It's a hidden comment, but just so you're aware that we don't allow advertising of other people's YouTube channels. Let's see here. Scrolling up. So the year-end financials come out in April 2020, and so the year-end financials come out in April 2020, and Market Deluxe is still the top seller, aka your guarantee didn't happen. What is your penalty for missing the bet? Well, I didn't really bet anything. It just means that people shouldn't believe me anymore when I say things like that. So the punishment is that I hurt the trust with me and the viewers. I ruin my credibility as a projector of things, which should already be ruined, by the way. I've gotten so many projections wrong that no one should listen to anything I have to say on projections because I'm just guessing like everyone else. So, Juan Castillo says, hey Nathan, didn't see you were on. Sorry I'm late. That's alright, welcome. Better late than never. He sealed off all the vent and wrapped it in towels, for crying out loud. What are you talking about? My vent is sealed off. My son can't hear me anymore. I can be as loud as I want and he can't hear me. I finally soundproofed the vents in my office, so I'm not waking up the whole house when I'm streaming or working late at night or recording videos or whatever I happen to be doing. Let's see here. Let me check over on Twitch here. Nope. No one really talking on Twitch. All right. What do you think the U in Wii U stands for? Well, Nintendo told us the U in Wii U, when they announced it, stood for U. It was supposed to be a Wii for you. Oh, by the way, Corey Bohm's shot here. Thank you so much, man. So the U in Wii U stands for literally you. It is a Wii for you. That's literally the terminology they used when they unveiled it. They said this is a Wii for you. So that's what the U stands for. Do digital games get the upgrades like physical copies of Switch games get? What do you mean the upgrades? What upgrades are you talking about, College Site? All the games are treated the same, as far as I'm aware. Joe Schmo said the Persona 5 S reveal is like if Sakurai teased King K. Rool before the August Direct, and then there were rumors for King K. Rool, and in the Direct we only get a King K. Rool Mii fighter skin. I don't honestly think that's the same thing. Think about this. There was no tease for Persona 5 on Switch. It never existed. The only thing that happened was Joker was put in Smash. That's it. Everything else was rumors and speculation. There were absolutely zero teases for Persona 5 on Switch. None. It never existed. People imagined it because Joker was in Smash. Joker's in Smash, it must mean we're getting Persona 5, right? There was no tease for Persona 5 ever. It never existed. Ever. So it's not the same. It's not the same. So, we still have Snake in Smash. Does that mean we're getting Metal Gear Solid 5 on, like, the Phantom Pain on Switch? No. Like, it's just, it's incredibly frustrating sometimes. Well, oh my gosh, there's Persona 4 and Persona 3 music in Smash now. Are we getting Persona 4 and Persona 3? No. Like, it's all wishful thinking and speculation. People get wrapped up in wishful thinking, speculation, and rumors, and then compare it to actual teases. Nah, it's not the same thing. Persona 5 was never teased for Switch. They never promised it. They never suggested it was coming to Switch. So, it's not the same thing. Let's see here. It's okay if you're disappointed. That's fine. But to be disappointed because you bought into speculation and rumors, not because anything was ever promised or teased or even suggested was going to happen. Microsoft Edge is decent for streams. Yeah, Microsoft Edge is alright. Microsoft has, I think, a beta up of their new browser that's based on Chrome. There's a lot of Chromium browsers out there. Some of them are even better than Chrome. They just don't lock up as much. At least from my experience. Maybe I have to. Maybe it's an add-on I have that's making it lock up. I don't know. I have to double. I'll go through my add-ons here sometime this upcoming week and see if it's one of those that's making it lock up. I suppose that song's done, and you just got Fly Octo Fly for free for a little bit. I had my stuff turned down. I'm gonna move my mic closer to me so I can actually. I'm gonna change the position of this mic. Maybe. Bueller. Yeah, there we go. That way it's closer to me, so I'm a little louder, and I can turn my music up a little bit more because now my mic won't be right by my speaker. So I can actually hear when music requests come in. Where are the songs at? All right. Do digital games and upgrades like physical Switch games get? Again, I don't know what that question means. I mean, like how you will be playing new Nintendo hardware at E3 this year. I said if Switch Pro and Switch Mini was unveiled, I would be playing it. By the way, if I never said it will be. I've never once said they will be unveiled, but I said if it's unveiled, I'll get to play it at E3. That would be nice. Well, at least it's not your bad as Pactor, Super Mario Day 64. I mean, Super Mario Day 64 has made it very clear that everything's his opinion now. So, as an opinion thing, I don't really mind it. That's why I've never minded Pactor either. It's all an opinion. Everyone's free to give their opinions and their projections. It's fine. It doesn't bother me that people give opinions and projections and are wrong. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean anything. It's just fun. It's just fun. If you stop taking it so seriously and just be like, hey, yeah, that'd be really cool. Or, hey, yeah, no, I disagree with you. Okay, cool. Like, I put up how I figured that Pokemon Sword and Shield kind of like makes me feel like we're going to have a Switch Mini. You can disagree. I know the 8th Thark, as an example, a regular at my channel, put up a big comment today how much he disagrees with me. And that's cool. It doesn't really matter. I'm just stating my opinions and my desires. It's not really oh my gosh, we are getting this kind of thing. Like, nah, I don't know. I don't have any sources necessarily telling me, oh my gosh, we're getting a Mini. Oh my gosh, we're getting this Pro. Like, there's nothing definitive out there. Oh, I thought it was Wii Ultra. No, that's not what the U meant. Let me see here. I have a Wii U, purchased it during your Wii U is great and cheap stream. It is great and cheap. That's the nice thing. It's cheap and great, and a lot of the games are really cheap now too. Do you think 3D World will be ported to Switch? Yes. Probably next year. You can watch YouTube videos of Crysis 3 on your Switch, so Switch version 3 will Switch version will definitely come. Yeah, geez. I mean, heck, you can go watch Half-Life 3 speculation videos, so Half-Life 3 confirmed for Switch. To be fair, they didn't give P5 Scramble a bad name just because they knew people would assume the obvious. I don't think that's why they gave it a bad name. I think they should have just called it Persona Scramble, whatever, blah, blah, and just left out the 5. But the 5's included for marketing purposes, so. There was a countdown for Persona 5S, and everybody, including me, thought the S stood for Switch. That's your fault. That's quite literally your own fault. How many different versions of Persona are there, and have any of them ever stood for a platform name? I'm just throwing that out there. Like, there are, like, Persona 5R as an example. Does that stand for remastered? No. Like, none of those letters have actually been related to a specific platform. So it's not like when they had Persona on Vita, it was Persona 3V. Like, that's not what it was called. So, again, they've never done that. So you were just assuming things, as were other people. Really, it stood for Scramble. So, I don't know. That's, to me, people make a lot of assumptions, and they get caught up in their own assumptions. And that's okay. It happens to me, too. I get caught up in my own assumptions, too. Like, I'm pretty sure that we're getting a Switch Mini this year. I could be wrong, and that's okay. It's not like I'm going to buy the thing anyways. Shouldn't say that. I will buy it for review purposes, but I'm not going to buy it to use it. It's not, I'm going to use my Switch. I'm going to probably give it to one of my kids if I bought it, but. Super Metal Dave 64 has finally stopped claiming his personal wish. He mentions in pretty much every video he makes that this is just his opinion. So, yeah. You mean the Scramble part is bad? I mean, I don't know if that is bad. You cannot like it, but I don't know. Obviously, they thought that was a good name, and maybe Persona 5, ask our Persona fans on PlayStation 4 mad about it? I mean, if they're not mad about it, then the only people that are mad about it are Switch owners that assume things. Like, are you left Twix or right Twix? What the heck does that mean, Mr. Hippo? What the heck does that mean? Left Twix or right Twix? Simon Stevens says, completely agree. I don't get hyped about anything until it's official. I don't think you can't get hyped about things. I just think that it's one thing to get hyped for something. It's another thing to have actual evidence of that something existing, right? So, as an example, Persona 5S, people assumed it meant Persona 5 Switch, but they've never had a letter stand for a platform. So there was no reason to really assume that, other than the fat jokers in Smash Bros. There was no real evidence, is my point. Now, you want to get hyped for Switch Pro and Switch Mini, that's fine because there are numerous outlets out there that have their own sources that are completely separate from each other that have all basically said that these two platforms in one form or another exist. So where there's smoke, there's fire. There is some backing behind those things potentially existing. There isn't, and the fact that Nintendo never denied that they exist, they just said they're not announcing them right now. So you can get hyped for that stuff if you want. But getting hyped for something that there hasn't actually even been a legit hint for, like there isn't even a rumor for Persona 5 on Switch. It's just, oh my gosh, Persona 5S. Oh my gosh, Persona 5S. It must mean Switch. Must mean Switch. It has to mean Switch because Joker's in Smash. Like, that's not a hint. That's not even a rumor. That's just speculation. That would be me being like, oh man, hey, we got Link's Awakening remastered this year, right? Oh man, you know what that means? Oh man, the Minish Cap remastered coming 2020. Get hyped. It's the next remaster. Like, I have no evidence or proof. Why am I getting hyped for something that there's no proof it's even real? At least if you want to get hyped for A Link to the Past, there was that Best Buy listing. So at least you have something to try to cling on to. But I mean, there was nothing to cling on to Persona 5 coming to Switch other than speculation. Just pure, unadulterated speculation. That's what I find so funny about all the people so mad that Persona 5S ended up being Persona 5 Scramble. It's like it was never coming to Switch. It was never coming to Switch. I wanted it to come to Switch, but it was never coming. We were never getting Persona 5 on Switch. I mean, who knows? I could be wrong, and maybe we will get it, but I'm just saying that, like, there was never any actual evidence that we were getting it. It's just Joker's in Smash. Think about it. If Joker was not in Smash, nobody would have thought Persona 5S meant Switch. Nobody. So because Joker's in Smash, it means it is. Like, we've had a Persona game on the Switch before. It was a side spin-off game. So what are we getting again? Another side spin-off game. Oh my gosh, Nintendo sucks. You always like to come in and troll, don't you? College Slam says, do you dance at weddings or do you sit at the table all night? I dance. Have you ever seen a Prime News episode? I am tearing up that dance floor. Whew. I love dancing at weddings. Who cares how much of an idiot you look like? It's a wedding, man. Everyone should be happy. Or sad that they're not getting married. I don't know. And then dance and be happy again. How far have I made it? Yoshi, I'm almost done. I got one crystal left. I literally just have to do one more play session and I'm done. Oh, Twix did a promotion for the candy bar. Oh, because of the split left or right. But then which one's left or right depends on which way you flip it. And besides shovelware phone games, aka indies, you know that not all indie games are phone games, right? And that there are actually some really good games on phones. But anyways, I'll just kind of leave it alone. He's just up in here trolling. He does this all the time. I don't know why people are upset over this if it's not been approved or nothing. In fact, I'm okay with Persona 5 Scramble. I don't care what others had to say about it. I love it. Like, dude, if you like Muso games, it's another potentially high-quality Muso game. Fire Emblem Warriors is pretty good. Hyrule Warriors is pretty good. So this is probably pretty good, too. We'll see. I'm not mad. I think it's a dumb name chosen for no other reason than to create artificial buzz around it prior to the review. I don't think that's why it was chosen. See, it's always this presumption that, they chose that name to create artificial buzz. Or they just literally, when they were negotiated, said, hey, look, we're going to call it Persona 5 Scramble because Scramble's actually in relation to the Persona franchise. That term Scramble relates to the Persona franchise. You don't know that if you don't play Persona. So, like, it's a term that's relevant to the series. That would be like if they called, Hyrule Warriors, like, Triforce Warriors. Like, oh man, it's a T Warriors game. What is that? What does that T Warriors game mean? Oh, it's a term completely relating to Zelda. Makes sense. Anyways. What's my favorite Nintendo franchise? Zelda. The Zelda franchise. When will Yulia be on stream again? Who knows? She just randomly appears. There's no plan for it. She's home right now. Hopefully she's upstairs. Well, maybe she just texted me. Usually she's upstairs sleeping right now or about to go to sleep. She had a long day, so I know she's tired. All right. I really want more Atlas on Switch. I'd love them to bring back Snowboard Kids. Snowboard Kids! Snowboard Kids needs to come back. God, it's so good. And before Nintendo Sucks comes in and be like, no, Snowboard Kids is clearly for kids. Like, all right, man. Obviously, it's kids in the name. I don't care. It's fun. How is Scramble relevant to Persona? Hold on. I looked this up after the fact. Because I was curious as well why the name Scramble. Let's hold on for a second. It was someone in a comment section. Now, granted, trusting someone from a comment section to be accurate with their information. Oh, hey, everyone, be quiet. I never clicked on your video. I hate auto-playing videos on websites. To me, it's like one of the worst things. Whether it's an ad or whether it's the actual video. Stop auto-playing when I click on your website. Okay, so this person says, Scramble is a reference to a point in Persona 5 where the personalities get scrambled together, and they literally use the word scramble in the dialogue. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I haven't played Persona 5. I'm just saying that's what someone in the comment section said on IGN. Again, I haven't played, so oh my god. Stop auto-playing. I literally... Chrome. Alright. as now my video gets copyright claimed. Honestly, this is amazing. We should be grateful that we're getting Scramble, which is nice. Isn't the Triforce made of 4 triangles? It's made of 3 triangles, and the 3 triangles create the 4th triangle in the middle. You're talking about the Tetraforce, but it's actually just made of, you can argue it's just made of 1 triangle, and then they just drew some lines in it, but let's see here. I hope the buzz/disappointment motivates Atlas to bring Persona to the Switch. Do you know if Sony helps fund the games? I have no idea. I don't follow the Persona franchise enough to know any of it. I've never been a fan. So, do you think any of the ported franchises like Mario Bros. And Donkey Kong will get a real sequel? I don't think New Super Mario Bros. Will get a sequel because that's what Super Mario Maker 2 is. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze? Yeah. Like it sold a couple million. There'll be another one. We may get some Dynasty Warriors as our only Persona 5 stuff, but at least we're getting SMT5 that is new and exclusive. Yeah, we are getting that eventually, maybe. I don't know. They announced it so long ago. Like now it's supposed to come this year, but gosh, it'll probably get pushed to 2020. Who knows? Like I don't know if it's just because it's really ambitious or they have a really small team on it or they keep putting it on the shelf for other content. I don't know, but man, it's been forever from the time they announced that game until like when they're actually going to say we're getting it. Yeah, I've played Persona 5 and Scramble, never came up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know all the dialogue in the game. I don't know any of the dialogue in the game, to be honest. I've never even watched a video of Persona 5. I know like absolutely nothing about Persona. I'm just being completely honest. I've never touched a Persona anything. Vaguely was aware the franchise even existed when Joker was announced. I was like, oh, well, that's cool and unexpected. Know nothing about the franchise. I don't mind autoplay on YouTube as much, but that's because I'm clicking on the video to watch it. And plus, you can, like, if you mute a video on YouTube, it'll mute every video you click on moving forward until you unmute it, which is a nice feature YouTube has. And maybe it's only if you're logged in. I'm not sure. I'm always logged into YouTube, so. If Zelda's your favorite franchise, then what is your favorite Zelda game? Breath of the Wild. I've played every single Zelda game, though, including all the spin-offs. I think the only spin-off I didn't play was one of the Tingle games that was Japanese only. Because I don't read Japanese, and so I'm not going to play it because I can't understand it. Did you talk about Madden yet? I briefly talked about it earlier. I forgot to mention that Wii U Madden 13 and Switch is more capable if the Wii U was. Well, Wii U's version of Madden wasn't even the current version for that year. And if that's what they're going to do with Madden on Switch, I don't want it. Wii U, Madden 13 on Wii U was Madden 2012. They changed over to the physics engine that year, and the Wii U version didn't get the physics engine. So that was a massive. That's like one of the biggest additions they have made to Madden in like a decade, and the Switch and the Wii U version didn't have it. So when you talk about Switch is more than capable, well, that version of Madden 13, isn't what's on today's consoles. Madden 13 was an Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 game. We're talking about Madden now. Madden 2020 on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One running on Switch. We're not talking about... And Wii U, by the way, was an on-par system with the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Switch is not on par with PlayStation 4 and PlayStation and the current Xbox. So it's a much, much different proposition to put Madden on Switch today than it was to put Madden on Wii U when it got an older version of the game for some ungodly reason. And that platform was on par with the platforms of that year anyways. So it's not as simple as, oh, of course they can put it on Switch. They put it on Wii U. Yeah, they put a crappy old version on Wii U. That's what we want? Hell no. Hell no. I'd rather not have Madden. Just like I don't like what they're doing with FIFA either. So I've never bought a FIFA game because I don't support what they're doing with FIFA on Switch. There's no reason they can't bring Frostbite over and give us a full version of FIFA. Have you picked up Dragon's Dogma? It's actually pretty good. I have not yet. Money, 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 money. I mean, I say that as I go in my pocket and I'm like, oh yeah, look at this money. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just counting those. Look at that. Those Benjamins and those Abe Lincolns and George Washingtons. But this is actually some grocery shopping money for tomorrow. So it's not really money I can spend on games or anything. I can't wait until SMT5 comes, but Atlas has already been acting silly for the past 5 years, so who knows? Yeah, who really knows? I'm dreading the nearly $80 worth of microtransactions being added to Starlink. Is it $80 now? Who knows? I haven't done the math. I mean, there's a ton of microtransactions already in Starlink, so like it's nothing new. Hey Nate, what's up, D-Dub? Why does everybody confuse Link with Zelda? Because it's called The Legend of Zelda, and then Link's the protagonist, so they think it's Zelda. It's been a common mistake made with people who don't play Zelda games for 30 years, so that's why. It's very unusual for a game to be called The Legend of someone's name and then have that person's name not be the person you play with. I hope Atlas canceled SMT5 for Switch and make it for PlayStation 4 and Xbox, because nobody on Switch would buy it because they're busy playing garbage. That game of the year garbage that beat out a bunch of games on your preferred platforms. And then Smash Ultimate, the best-selling fighting game of all time. Yeah, cool. Yeah, never mind that SMT has been consistently selling on Nintendo platforms for over a decade. But, I mean, that's cool. Gotta love when you're just factually incorrect. What about my friend George Washington? Yeah, guys. I think I can get a little Dragon's Dogma action for a little George Washington action. I love that. I'm gonna rip in the bill if I keep doing it. Oh man. Ugh. Don't engage with the troll, guys. Let him be. Let him have his fun. He's clearly not having as much fun on those other platforms as he thinks he is, because then he wouldn't have time to come here and talk on my streams. So, damn, bro. George Washington just raided the stream. Oh, that's great. That's great. Check out over on Twitch. Still, only Arctic Witch 7780 who said hi over there. A couple people watching on Twitch, but no one really talking. That's all right. It happens. They're probably used to me not responding to them, so they're like, oh, why bother talking? Why talk to this Nate guy? God. Oh, hey. While I'm waiting, I'm going to go check one of my eBay listings. I'm selling 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM on eBay right now. There was like 10 people watching it earlier. I was hoping it was... I think it's got one more day to sell. 15 hours left. 15 hours left to sell. It's had 118 page views. Oh, man. Why is it easier to look at this stuff on my app the way I want to look at it? I'm like trying to get the listing info. Oh, I have a bidder? Oh, wait, somebody bid. Wait, maybe not? Listing info. Page views, 118. High bidder. Someone bid on it? How do I know if someone bid on my thing on eBay? Oh, there is a bid. There's a $100 bid. Okay, cool. So someone did bid $100 for it. Nice. So it's going to sell tomorrow for at least 100. Cool. Awesome. A little extra money in my pocket tomorrow. I'm going to have to go out on Monday and ship it out. All right. Back to the stream. Oh, let's see here. What about my... Ooh, why did the auto... Oh, you know why? I don't have my studio lights on. Turn on those lights. That's why the autofocus was going crazy. Sorry if it was going crazy earlier and I didn't notice. The critics who love Breath of the Wild were probably kids. Sure, all of us adults that gave it like 10s out of 10s are kids. I'm a kid. Going on 33 years this year. Parent of 3. Favorite game of all time. Everybody knows the game of the year. 2017, also the greatest game ever, is FIFA. Already. I mean, it's cool if you really love FIFA. Like, if you're a huge FIFA fan and that's your jam every year, that's great. Why don't you, well, why don't you take this George Washington quick and go buy yourself a craft single and enjoy some more FIFA. What is it? FIFA 19 up to now? Go have some fun, man. No, the fun thing is, he could just play FIFA 19 on Switch. But, I mean, the fact that he's talking about FIFA being game of the year every year, even if he's being legit, FIFA's on Switch. Fun times. Should we just make the George Washington into a meme on this channel? Every time someone starts trolls, I'm going to be like, hey, George Washington has something to say to you. And then just ban him. Just make that a new thing on my channel. Just snap the George Washington and then start banning people. That's my favorite Mario game. Let me see. Seriously. Goodbye. What's my favorite Mario game? That's always been a tough one for me. Galaxy 2 was my favorite, but then I really enjoyed Odyssey, and I'm not sure if it tops Galaxy 2 for me or not. And then Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3 as well, and obviously Super Mario 64. Problem is, I love so many of them. I say I love all the Zelda games, but it's easier for me because every Zelda game is unique and different, and I don't feel that the same way about Mario. Like Galaxy 1, Galaxy 2, very similar. Super Mario 64 kind of stands on its own a bit, but then, I don't know, does it really? So I'm going to go with Galaxy 2 for now, but Odyssey's damn close, man. They're all really damn close for me. Most everyone's a kid, confirmed. I went trash FIFA because my friend helped make 19 and is working on 20. Dude, there's nothing wrong with FIFA. Like, I'm not trying to bash FIFA. Just like I love sports games. So like I am one of those people that buy games like FIFA. I'm just not a soccer fan where I would buy more FIFA. So yeah, like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like there's a reason the sports games don't win game of the year every year. They come out every year. So it's not really like a big shocking, surprising game for that year. It's like, oh, it's another FIFA game. Cool. Honestly, I love Breath of the Wild so much, and I have been playing it more than I with VR. VR! Has the most complex AI and physics engine ever in a game. I'm not going to go that far. Let's not start claiming that Breath of the Wild has more complex AI and a better physics engine ever in any game ever made, when that's probably not true. Maybe any game you've ever played. Well, let's be careful when you start making bold claims like that without having enough experience with games on every other platform, including PC, which can do way more complex AI and way more complex physics than a Switch can. So let's be a little careful there. It is some of the most complex Nintendo's ever done, but like ragdoll physics exist in other games too, and world interaction physics exist in other games too. You can argue how Nintendo uses those physics might be unique, with their various items and their various abilities, but all of the I'm already forgetting the Slate abilities. Gosh, I'm already forgetting the name. I can't even drawing a blank on Zelda stuff. The Sheikah Slate abilities. Oh man. Let's see here. Why does Capcom have Ryu and Zyu? It is confusing. I don't know. I mean, we now have, what is it? Link and Link Hell. Thanks to Hyrule Warriors. So, I mean, I don't know. You have to limit yourself for 30 minutes of motion sickness. Yeah, that's cool. Miyamoto getting all the George Washingtons. Like Call of Duty, no defense to others who love this game. Nate, have I tried out Zelda VR? It was so horrible, I almost puked. Tried it out? Yes. Spent enough time extensively to talk about it? No. Here's what I've heard. And what I've been hearing from people that I trust. When you first try it out, it's really jarring. And doesn't feel right. And blah, blah, blah. Which is kind of my experience with it. But then others spent more time with it, and more time with it, and more time with it. And even did things like make a way to attach it to their head so they don't have to hold it to their head to spend that time with it. And over time, it really starts to grow on you and become this amazingly immersive experience. So I am intentionally not talking about the VR experiences in Zelda or Mario Odyssey until I have done the same and spent enough time with it to know if that turns out to be true for me as well. So I want to wait, and I want to spend some extended play sessions. I don't get motion sickness from VR, so I don't have to worry about that. So for me, it's just figuring out how it works for me and if it's going to continue to work for me. And if I end up falling in love with it. I know Game Explainer is an example. They gave their initial impressions were it's crap, and now they're like, actually, it's really amazing, and they're serious about it. So it's one of those things that I want to make sure I spend enough time with it to fully come up with an opinion, so I'm not making like 2 opposing videos about it. So I'm waiting until I do that, and it was going to happen this weekend, but now the time I was going to use for Zelda VR tomorrow, I am using for to finish up my Yoshi's Crafted World gameplay, so then I can finish my review up and get that hopefully up on Monday. I don't want to promise another day, but I'm hoping to have it up on Monday. Either way, I'm hoping to wrap up Kirby tomorrow, and then I can focus on Zelda and Mario VR. I'm a fan of your sophisticated views on gaming. Keep up the streams, man. Thanks, Schizo Monk. I appreciate it. I don't view my viewpoints as that crazy and sophisticated, but it's cool. I don't know what I'm being compared to, because there's a lot of people out there that I don't want to say they're not sophisticated, but they don't. Because I don't think I'm sophisticated, but they don't necessarily articulate themselves very well, I guess is a good way to put it. Let me see here. I got horrible motion sickness on roller coasters and planes. Oh, jeez. Yeah, well. The mini games included Live VR to bother me, and I played them for 2 hours or so. Zelda was so bad, I can't try it again. That's fine, man. It's not going to be for everyone. I said I got to give some proper time. Some proper time to it to see if my opinion changes. As with anything, it would be like for me giving a review of something, only trying it out for 5 minutes. Like, you got to get it longer than that. Oh, man. I'm surprised that no one's brought up the playoffs today for the NBA. Probably, if I had to guess, it wasn't brought up because the Bucks don't play today. They play tomorrow. But I know the Nuggets and Spurs are wrapped up in another tight game again. It is Game 7, so I guess you should expect it to be tight. And Toronto beat Philly today, which I kind of don't want to... Like, if my Bucks advance, I kind of don't want to see Toronto. They're the ones that scare me compared between them and Philly. I think Philly we can handle. Toronto, I don't know, man. Something about Toronto gives me a Bucks vibe to that team. Like, they're just really good all around and really deep. God, they bring an all-star off their bench. So, man. All right. Thank you for sharing the money your videos make on YouTube today. I found it really insightful. Oh, yeah. I can go over that today. I can go over that. So, I don't know why I felt like sharing it. Someone asked me a question on Facebook about it. And I usually don't talk about like the money my videos make. But I felt like a lot of people get confused. And they think like a channel my size can't make money on videos. And like I do make money on videos, obviously. But people sometimes misconstrue or misunderstand what kind of money you can make and why videos are sometimes a certain length and all that stuff. Like I think the first screenshot I shared was of my is there something wrong with Mortal Kombat 11 on Switch, which there isn't, by the way. But I thought it was a fair question at the time, and that had 10,000 views, and I only made $21. And you're like, man, 10,000 views for $21, that's garbage. Like that's nothing. 10,000 views and $20. Man, most of your videos only get 2,000, Nate, or 1,000. How the heck are you making a living on YouTube? Well, then I linked a video that had 24,000 views this month, which is my top view video, and that had like $100. And Corey Bohm hits me with the $2. I knew you were going to say Raptors championship this season. Another reason I don't want the Raptors to advance, Corey, is because I think the Bucks are going to advance, and that means me and you are going to be going like this in every live stream. And every live stream, we're going to be arguing back and forth about the Bucks versus the Raptors. It'll be a fun series either way if it does happen. Cheers, man. So yeah, then I shared, why the Switch Pro may be the real Switch video. I released that video at the beginning of this month. Did really well. Has like $100. And the big reason that one has such a higher payout than the other one isn't just because it has 14,000 more views. It's because it's a longer video. Give you an example. The next generation Switch has nothing to do with PlayStation 5 and the next Xbox. I only had 2,900 views on that video. I made $14. Well, almost 15. Basically rounded, I made $15 on that video. Not bad. Not bad for only a few thousand views, right? And Player Essence has pointed this out before. You basically need a few thousand views to make a decent amount of money. $15 on a video is a decent amount of money. You put out 3 videos a day. They get 3,000 views each. That's $45. That's nice. But that's not always the case. My Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey are now in VR officially on Switch news video. Has more views at 3,890, but only made $5. Why? That video's less than 4 minutes long. The other video was like 17 minutes long. So YouTube really favors, money-wise, videos that are really long. So I could have a video that is only has like 1,500 views, but if that video is 18 minutes long, I might have made $10 on that video. Versus a video that's less than that, gets 8,000 views, I might only make $6 or $7. So this is why that 10-minute mark is so magical. People always point at that 10-minute mark on YouTube. The 10-minute mark on YouTube, the reason that people talk about the 10-minute mark is because when you hit 10 minutes, you can start to insert ads into your video. So some people view that as why you make more money. Reality is YouTube cares a lot about watch time. And you can't have a lot of watch time on your videos if your videos are short. So watch time matters a ton for your revenue. So the longer your video is, even if only 5% of the people watching that video watch the entire 19 minutes of that video you made or whatever, that 5% is watch time. And then the watch time all gets accumulated, and then you end up making more money per viewer. So, in general, that means I should make every one of my videos 15 minutes long. I don't, but if I want to maximize my revenue, that's what I should be doing in terms of AdSense revenue, anyways. All right, let's see here. But yeah, you're welcome for the insights. I enjoy giving insights when I can. Let me see here. Bucks should dominate Toronto. We'll have trouble with Boston, though. We'll see. We'll see Clayton Miller. I mean, I think the Bucks are going to have trouble with Boston. I think Boston presents problems for everyone because they just have so many different types of players that can hurt you in different ways. It's going to be whether or not they play together, whether or not they collapse if they face adversity, because that seems to be an issue with Boston this year. So we'll see. Do you think there will be more DLC past the Fighter Pass and Mies for the Ultimate Update? Yes, I think there'll be a second Fighter Pass, actually. Sega Dreamcast is looking lit. Why haven't I bought it years ago? Dude, Sega Dreamcast is awesome. Jet Set Radio is amazing too. Crazy Taxi. Joe Schmo, the thing is, though, that most Nintendo YouTubers spend less than a day on Nintendo games and give Nintendo games very high scores. But then a few months later, we see all its flaws. Less than a day. I could imagine giving any Nintendo game less than a day. I'm not talking about in terms of playing it for 24 hours or whatever, but only playing it one day and then talking about it being done. Especially if you're a reviewer, right? I'm reviewing Yoshi's Crafted World. It's taking me all month. Not because Yoshi is a long game, but because I'm only playing it in bits and spurts here and there when I have time. And some of those times I have to make sure it's in my office so I can record gameplay for the review. So I don't know, man. I spent a hell of a lot of time on Breath of the Wild. My viewpoint of it today is not any different than it was back then. Yeah, there's flaws. Those flaws were there back then too. They didn't stop me from loving the game. So, I don't know. I think that's true of a lot of gaming channels in general, maybe, where they rush through a game in a day or two. Don't really take time to sit and think about that experience. Maybe go back and replay a little bit of it. And because of that, they might rush opinions out the door that don't hold up. My experience with review copies in the past is I was given like a week or two, which is more than enough time for me to formulate my thoughts and opinions. But especially if I'm trying to hit a specific deadline. But since I don't get review copies of games, or generally don't get them, I take my sweet time to do reviews because I'm not going to get my review out in a timely fashion. It's not going to get out in a time frame that's going to match up with other reviews. So I'd rather just take my time and do the review the way I would any game. I'm going to play the game like I would normally, and I'm going to give you my review like I would normally. You know, I'm not going to rush through it just for the sake of a review. There's no reason for me to like take time and dedicate to that. So, Cheetos. What about Cheetos? I haven't ate Cheetos in a long time. What's up with leaning into stuff? Breath of the Wild is one example of a game reviewer spent one day on and gave 10 out of 10. Months later, its flaws, like bad story and lame dungeons, were exposed and people realized Breath of the Wild wasn't perfect. I give Breath of the Wild a 10 out of 10, and I stand by my review. So I disagree with that assessment. I don't think a game has to be perfect to get a 10 out of 10. If that's the case, then nothing's ever getting a 10 out of 10. That's not how I base my scale. My scale is basically this. Is it my favorite game I've ever played of all time and nothing else comes close to it? Yes. Okay, it's a 10. Can it be knocked from being a 10 in the future? Sure, if something else comes out that's better. That's the way I view it. So, like, to me, Breath of the Wild is at the top of the mountain. I love the story in the game, so I disagree with that assessment. I think it's one of the best stories Zelda's ever told. What you have to remember about Zelda and stories is Zelda and story has always been bad. None of the stories are good. You can argue the premises are good, but the way the story's told, it's always been garbage. Zelda's always been gameplay focused. Story is somewhere in the background. And I love what they did with the story in Breath of the Wild. Personal opinion, of course. And I didn't mind the dungeons. I honestly don't think Breath of the Wild has dungeons. The way I kind of view it is there aren't dungeons in Breath of the Wild. And that doesn't bother me, because dungeons aren't why I play Zelda games. So, to each their own. But again, I didn't play it for a day and give it a 10 out of 10. Like, no. And I don't think that's what happened with most reviews. Most people had weeks, if not a month, to review the game. They didn't just spend a day with it. So, just me. You know, everyone's different. Make every video 30 minutes long except podcasts, which I say increase that to 3 hours. Jeez. The thing is, you have to be careful about the length of videos because I noted in my Twitter post, like, if you make a video that says 20 minutes or longer, you're not going to get a lot of views. So you got to find that sweet spot. Usually 12 minutes is about the sweet spot. If I could make every video 12 minutes long, that's perfect. You throw a mid-roll ad in, and it's 12 minutes long, so it's got like a perfect 6-minute chunk advertisement, 6-minute chunk end of video. It seems to be a good length that people seem to enjoy, but I don't really pay attention to how long my videos are when I'm recording. Here's the fun secret of me on YouTube. While I realize if all my videos were above 10 minutes, I would make more money, I don't pay attention to time when I'm recording things. I literally am not looking at a timer or anything. I record with OBS half the time when there's no timer on it. Or maybe there is a timer on it. I just don't pay attention. Like, I'm seeing a timer right now on the live thing, so maybe there is a timer. I don't pay attention to it. So people are like, "Oh yeah, you're just repeating yourself to stretch a video out." Yeah, because you know, stretching a video out from 3 minutes to 5 minutes really gets me any more money. It doesn't. I am a very repetitive person. You guys should know this. You guys that are watching this stream probably know that. I repeat myself a lot. I try to cut that out as much as I can, but it still happens. I approach things from multiple angles to explain the same thing, and that annoys people. I get it, but that's just who I am. That's how I talk in real life. That's how I talk in my videos. I keep it real. I am who I am, and I can't change that. I don't repeat myself to extend the video out to 15 minutes. Maybe it might feel like that's what I did, but it was not intentional. I keep talking until I have nothing else to say, and then I'm done with the video. That's the way I make videos. Here's the topic. I talk about it till there's nothing else to talk about, and then I'm done. And then when there's nothing else to talk about, it's when I feel like I have nothing else to say. So if you felt like I repeated myself 30 times over for 15 minutes, I'm sorry. It wasn't intentional. It's who I am. It's how I talk. I'm sorry. Stop listening after the first 3 minutes. That's when usually all the news is done. So, did I say goodbye to the 3DS? Sure. 2 years ago. Nintendo predicts to sell 1 million systems in fiscal year 2019. What? Why did I say March in French? Yeah, I have no idea why you said that. You want to know my favorite NES line from a bad game? That truck have started the move. What? I don't know what game that's from. Do I feel asleep? What? I don't even know what that means. Do you feel asleep? You mean, am I tired? No. Red Dead Redemption 2 got 10s everywhere, but it was a very flawed game. A lot of imperfect games are considered 10s. Again, I don't think 10 has to mean perfection. Maybe to you it does, but nothing's a 10 then. So, let's see here. Who the hell spent only 1 day playing Breath of the Wild? Also, yeah, I agree. Games don't need to be literally perfect to get a 10. When will IGN give 12 out of 10s? In Breath of the Wild, that island when you start with no weapons was no joy. Dude. Oh, what was that island called? I remember where it is, too, and how to get to it. Using the Korok leaf on the raft after that shrine. I remember live streaming that, and I beat the Hinox on that island. The first time I beat the Hinox on that island, I bomb kited him. So I was too afraid to take on the Hinox. I didn't realize how easy Hinox were, right, at the time, because I'd never faced one. And I didn't have any equipment or any weapons. So, but you have my bombs. I have my ability to use my bombs. So I bomb kited him up and down that damn hill for like 45 straight minutes to beat him. Just attacking him with just bombs. In hindsight, that's a really crappy strategy to take out a Hinox. But at the time, felt right to me because I wasn't using my weapons that I didn't have. Oh, man. I don't know if any of you guys remember that stream. That was like the very beginning of this channel. Oh, man. One flaw I constantly used to make, sometimes still do, is I would say how long a video would be when the viewer obviously can obviously tell at the bottom of the video, but I did. Jeez. Most YouTubers repeat themselves a lot. I don't know. I'm just a repetitive person. You could ask Eric sometime. I even in our conversations, I'll make the same points a few times. I don't know why. It's just who I am. Some people like it though. I've had some commenters come on and be like, look, like you said the same point 3 times, but I like how you explained it because it made it very clear and concise and easy to understand. And I'm like, oh, that's the way I am. I am so used to jobs and stuff I've had in the past where I would give an instruction as a manager and they would do it wrong and not understand it, that I always feel like I need to explain things like 3 or 4 different times. 3 or 4 times in 3 or 4 different ways for everyone to get it. And for people who got it the first time, I get that it's really annoying. But I'm trying to make everybody understand what I'm saying. So, I don't know. As I always tell people, like, well, fine. Once you understood what I had to say, stop watching. You don't need to keep watching because I'm just going to try to make more people understand. That's always my viewpoint. Like, hey, look, you got 6 minutes in and you understand my opinion and my stance. Cool. Don't have to listen to the rest of the video. It's fine. You don't have to watch any of the video to me. No one has to watch my content. It's cool. I thought the story of Breath of the Wild was trash. Too much memories. We're just talking. Characters weren't developed. And voice acting was pretty meh overall. I like the voice for Zelda, so we're just not going to agree on that. I like the memories, too, as well. So, I'm sorry. A lot of the story in Breath of the Wild is also not told through the memories. It's told through things you find in the overworld. But a lot of the story you have to piece together. And I love that about the game. I remember doing my review of Wreck-It Ralph in 2012, which was the worst review in the world. I regret doing it. It was the worst video I ever made. You don't repeat yourself to pad out a video. You just ramble. Yup. I don't pad videos. Like, if I ever pad a video, I will literally state in the video, so, I need to pad this video for another 3 minutes. So, why don't we talk about something completely unrelated? I would be totally honest if I was padding on a video. That, hey, they've got to pad this. Let's go. I feel asleep. Metal Gear NES version. Okay. Eventide Island. That's right. In the DLC where you couldn't take damage, although there were ways to eat if you were fast enough. I was at the top of this hill and threw bombs for like 10 minutes at 2 enemies. Nice. Then a bat came by and nearly killed me. Jeez. The Giants should have taken Dwayne Haskins. Yeah, I didn't watch much of the draft. But Philip, scratching my head, there's no Sonic Mania 2 yet. I mean, it hasn't been that long since we had the first one. Avengers Endgame was incredible and perfect way to end 10 years of MCU. I disagree, but that's okay. I enjoyed Avengers Endgame, by the way. I saw it the very first night it was out, which was Thursday. Was that like the premiere showing of it? Parts of it I really loved. Other parts of it, not so much. And I really wasn't a big fan of how it all ended. But not just because like what characters survive and what characters don't survive or anything like that. That's not really part of it. Besides the fact that it was completely predictable. But like completely predictable. I knew it was going to happen like an hour before it did. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything. It's just it could have been better. I think it's one of the weaker Avenger movies. But it's all right. It was still a good movie. It's still better than most superhero movies that exist. So, when I did Zelda DLC, I eventually saved after every enemy. If I was not allowed to save, I don't know what would happen. Okay, cool. Is this a pointless question? Yes, obviously. Unless your point was to get me to read it. I will give you that the beginning was slow, but I loved the ending and thought it was a great way to end it, predictable or not. Yeah, I didn't like the way it was ended. I didn't end it at all. So it's all right though. And the thing is, it's not really the end of the MCU universe. One, the final movie in Phase 3 of the MCU is Spider-Man: Far From Home, and then after that, there's Phase 4, which begins supposedly with the Black Widow movie, but I'm not exactly 100% sure what the whole plan is for Phase 4 because they haven't unveiled anything for Phase 4 yet. But it's not the end. What it is the end of is the current iteration of the main characters in the Avengers. It is not the end of the MCU. The MCU is just going to continue, but it's going to continue with different characters and different movies and blah, 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 blah. And there could be future Avengers movies, but those Avengers movies won't be like the prior Avengers movies. They'll be with a different cast of characters doing different things, which happened in the comics too, by the way. So it's not like it's unheard of. So, anyways, I understand it's not the end of the M, but that was the right way to kill the characters that died. Spoilers. I disagree. That's okay. I like watching Microsoft Sam read signs, especially with no fishing while using the toilet. Do you remember Microsoft Sam? I don't remember anything about that, no. Oh, man. Breath of the Wild seemed less traditional for stories. It probably did, yeah. That probably upset a lot of people. It was extremely untraditional. I don't remember a story being told in the game like Breath of the Wild did it ever, and I loved it. But I understand. Everyone's got different taste. When will I start making E3 predictions? May? End of May? I'm not someone that like hypes E3 for like 2 months straight. So at some point in May. I basically only make like one video. It's just, hey, here's my predictions for E3. Da 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 da. And then I do a betting episode with Eric. Right before E3. So there isn't like a big thing here. It's one predictions video, one betting special. And all of those happen like when we're almost to E3. So later, Clayton. Will there be a betting special? Absolutely. We have a new rule. No more than 20 E3 predictions that floods our systems. Jeez. Mark Greenberg. I have to be honest. I love the Breath of the Wild gameplay, but I did not enjoy the way the story was told in bits. I would have liked more cutscenes. Still a great game, though. Had a lot of cutscenes. You just had to find them. But yeah, I like the way it was told. But yeah, everyone's different. Just like with Endgame. You absolutely think it's like the perfect ending and this and that, and that's fine. And I disagree. Who really cares, right? Like, it doesn't matter what we say. This is factually what happened. Take it or leave it. Endgame was great. It was a great movie. Loved it. Could have been better, but loved it. Breath of the Wild. Loved it. Could have been better, sure, but loved it. I mean, everyone's got their own different opinions on things, so. No one's wrong, because it's your own personal taste and your own personal desires, what you like and what you don't like. That's what sucks about opinions, is I think people are just not very accepting of others' opinions. I think this is just a general remark on the human population. It has nothing to do with gaming. We are, as human beings, not very accepting of people who don't think the same way we think. And that's weird because we all think differently. Thoughts on the Packers this year? They're still going to suck. I'd be shocked if we make the playoffs. Let me put it that way. We still suck. I don't mind the draft. Like, it's not like I think we suck because the draft was bad. We're rebuilding. Whether Packer fans want to admit it or not, we are rebuilding. We are not like the Browns ready to explode and start contending. We are in rebuild mode. And yeah, we're rebuilding while we still have Aaron Rodgers. Happens. Come on. Go, Pack, go. We're going to kick booty. To be fair, they did that with Brett Favre, too. They started rebuilding at the end of Brett Favre's career, too. What about the Vikings? Vikings are in win-now mode. They've been in win-now mode for a couple seasons. We'll see if it works out for them. The big thing is hoping that their offense improves this year because their offense held them back last year. If you have to rebuild, you already lost. Of course we have to rebuild. I mean, why do you think we have a whole new coaching staff? Rebuilding. End of an era. Clay Matthews is gone. We have a whole bunch of young guys on defense now. Like we're rebuilding. That's how it works in the NFL. You have to rebuild eventually. If the Packers never stop rebuilding, that would be awesome. Sure. Go Cards. Problem was the Packers drafted. You didn't get a wide receiver. The Saints only needed a wide receiver and didn't get one. But we got a free agent from Texas that's 6'6" and fast. The thing is, like, the Packers needed way more than just a wide receiver. Everyone's just like, oh, you never replaced Jordan. Oh, like, here's the wrong presumption for people that are outside of that. I don't just the overarching presumption for Green Bay is that one of the issues with them last year is they didn't have a wide receiver. Right? Like they had Devontae Adams and nobody. Wrong. The problem with the Green Bay Packers last year was Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers alone. Aaron Rodgers is an amazing quarterback. But he's always looking for the big play. Always looking for the big play. He does not take what the defense gives him. Throughout the season, on every drop back, he had players wide open that he wouldn't even look at. I'll say this, and you might appreciate this, Mark Greenberg. If Drew Brees was the Green Bay Packers quarterback, the Packers win 14 games last year. Because Drew Brees takes what the defense gives him. Rodgers had wide open guys on every single pass play and never threw it to him and just held into the ball, threw it away, or got sacked. You can't talk about needing receivers when you have wide open receivers and you're just not throwing them the ball. You don't need receivers. You need a quarterback that can throw it to a wide open receiver. You need a quarterback that's not holding onto the ball for 15 seconds trying to get the big play when they have an 8-yard dump off that can turn into 25 yards. The problem with Green Bay Packers last year was Aaron Rodgers. Flat out. And if Matt LaFleur can't make him play differently, he's going to continue to be a problem. Mark, I don't think you know how bad it was in Green Bay. Guys were wide open. It doesn't matter who your receivers are if your quarterback's not giving them the ball. We had wide open guys all over the field. He doesn't care. He stares down one guy. He'll look at someone who's wide open, but he's not really looking at him. He's actually staring off this way and just turning his helmet that way, because if he was actually looking at the guy, he would realize he's wide open for an 18-yard pass play, but he doesn't throw it to him because he wants the 40-yard pass play down the sideline on the other end of the field. That's the way Aaron Rodgers has always been. And he got away with it in years past because, yeah, we had some wide receivers who could create separation at the top of the routes. And you can argue, well, the Packers just need more wide receivers that can do that. No, what we need is a quarterback that's willing to spread the damn ball around. Give it to other guys that are wide open. Like, if we had Drew Brees, Packers are in the playoffs last year because he loves taking what the defense gives him. I love that about Drew Brees. He is the best statistical quarterback of all time because he doesn't feel like he needs to always wait for a big play. Big plays will happen organically through Drew Brees' game because he always takes what the defense gives him. So if the defense tries to take away the dump off, if the defense tries to take away the slant, if it tries to take away the 15-yard out, that usually means someone's open over the top. And Drew Brees will just take what the defense gives him. He's excellent at reading a defense before the snap. Aaron Rodgers' worst trait, his absolute worst trait, isn't even holding onto the ball. He cannot read defenses before the snap. He sucks at it. He sucks at calling line protections before the snap. He sucks at reading defenses before the snap. So what'll happen is, I'll be watching it and I'll be like, oh my God, dump it off. Like literally, I'll be watching the play. I'm like, dude, they don't have anyone on the running back. He's going to be wide open in the flats for an easy 10 yards. Sure enough, running back's wide open in the flats. What's Roger do? Look at the running back, stare him down, turn his head back, and chuck it downfield to a guy who's double covered. He does not take what the defense gives him. And it's so frustrating watching it time after time after time. Yeah, Rodgers can buy time and make spectacular plays, but oftentimes he doesn't need to do that. If he would just take what was already given to him by the defense. But he can't read it pre-snap. And because he doesn't read it pre-snap, he just sucks. I love Aaron Rodgers. He's a great quarterback. I got a poster of him up on my wall. Like, dude is amazing and all that. But damn. Damn, man. He's more a product of the system, it feels like, than he is being a stud quarterback in his own right. I think Aaron Rodgers has all the ability. He's one of the... When people like Stephen A. Smith will be like, Aaron Rodgers is the most talented. Yes, the talent of Aaron Rodgers is undeniable. He has all of the tools. He doesn't always have it up here. If Drew Brees could have Aaron Rodgers' talent, Drew Brees would be unquestionably the greatest quarterback of all time and would probably have a zillion Super Bowls by now. I wish I could take those two players and mold them together. They would be so perfect. And Drew Brees is already incredible the way he is. Now just imagine having the additional talent. Oh, man. Anyways. You're bad in Green Bay. Nothing's compared to the crap. Well, I mean, Arizona's in a rebuild. So, I mean, again, when you're in a rebuild, you don't really expect to win. You want to see your young players get better every year, get the right scheme, the right coaching staff together. Obviously, find a quarterback. Hopefully, Kyler Murray's your guy and he works out. Anyways. Since they don't want to ban violent games for violence, they don't talk about banning sports because they have fights. Well, because the sports aren't about fights, but a lot of games are about violence. I think there's a big difference. Like, sports aren't about the fights unless it's a fighting sport like UFC. So, like, the NFL and NBA isn't about fighting, but fights sometimes happen. Violent video games are about the violence. That's what makes them fun. Reggie has 1 billion followers on Twitch and is streaming GTA 5 and has made... Don't know what I just typed. I just put on all nines. Since Smash Bros. Has home run contest, how could they incorporate another sport contest? I don't know. It's not really even a home run contest. It's like there's phone mini games that are like it. It's not really a home run contest, right? There's been games that have had that sort of contest. They call it a home run contest. You're not actually hitting home runs. So it's not really a home run contest. It's weird. It's a very weird name just because you use a bat. We've been stuck in this rebuild for 5 years. Hopefully Green Bay does well for you guys this year. Yeah, well, the problem with Arizona, when you talk about they've been stuck in this rebuild for 5 years, some of those years you had Carson Palmer, and if you have Carson Palmer, you weren't trying to rebuild. The problem with the Cardinals is they were in a rebuild, but they didn't recognize they were in a rebuild. They thought they were contenders. and they acted like they were contenders, and then it never worked. I'm hoping that doesn't happen with Green Bay. Green Bay's thing is we have been in the playoffs all this time, and Aaron Rodgers has been so amazing, and he's under contract and has this big quarterback deal that, the idea of thinking we are in a rebuild just like bothers people. And I'm just like, guys, accept it. The soonest you accept it, the better off you're going to be. So when the Packers don't win this year, it shouldn't surprise you. And if we do win this year, you should just be happy. My fear is that Packers management is going to act like they're not in a rebuild. And because of that, we're going to waste the end of Rodgers' career. If you act like you're in a rebuild and you know you're in a rebuild, you can have a rebuild happen quick. It happens with New England all the time. New England rebuilds in a year. They'll have an off year and then they'll come back. Like, you can do a year rebuild. You can basically have a bad year and retool. So the Packers could end up contending this year, but it requires they hit on their draft picks and they hit on whatever veterans they sign. So, again, nothing we know, and now we have a whole new coaching staff. So, again, the Packers are in a rebuild. The rebuild could be over. It might end this year. It might extend for another 2 years. I don't know. We don't know. It all comes down to the coaching, and it all comes down to the GM. So, we'll see what happens. Texas is playing LSU in Austin next year. Nice. You don't have to use the bat technically. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. That window closed and the higher-ups didn't do crap about it. I thought YouTube was telling me to chat politically, not publicly. I feel the Packers need to trade Rodgers. They could get a ton of players and picks. I don't believe the rebuild will happen with Rodgers there. I do own one Green Bay Packers stock, yes. As for you feel the Packers need to trade Rodgers, they're not going to trade him. I guarantee you they're not going to trade him. At least not now. As for they don't believe a rebuild will happen while Rodgers is there, I think a rebuild's already been happening while Rodgers is there. Look at the defense. Take a glance at the Green Bay Packers defense. Young. Tons of youth. That happened because they're rebuilding. They've been rebuilding for a couple seasons and no one noticed. Everyone presumed the Packers were supposed to contend last year. I kept telling people the Packers are rebuilding right now. No one believed me, and then we weren't very good. And who looked really good? A lot of our young guys. Who didn't look good? A lot of our veterans. Why? Because we're rebuilding. So I've been saying this for a while. The Packers were rebuilding last year. So they're already rebuilding. They were already rebuilding with Rodgers. But they're never going to say that publicly because you always want to act like this is title town. We're going to win. We're trying to win. We're trying to make the playoffs. Trying to do this. Trying to do that. As long as we have Aaron Rodgers, sure, you let people believe that, but we were already rebuilding. So, thanks to us rebuilding last year, we already have a lot of pieces in place on defense that could lead to us being awesome this year. We have 3 young corners that could all be studs. We went and got this young safety this year. He looks like he might be a stud, and we went and got Amos to pair with him. So we have a veteran back there that can help out the secondary and all our young guys. We went young at linebacker, but we also brought in a couple veterans that are solid. So we could solidify our linebackers along with the up-and-comers coming up. Our defensive line got better. If you look at it, our defense should be really good this year if our youth works out. We just rebuilt our defense in 3 years. Offense, all starts up front. Got to get a line. That's why I love the center we took in the second round. We have to rebuild a line. Balaga's gone after this year. We got to build a line. We got to have a center. We got to have 2 guards, and then we'll worry about the tackles. You got to have a line. You got to have a line, and you have Rodgers. So after that, you try to figure everything else out around that. Maybe we have a running back. I don't know. Our running back has looked good for 2 years, but he's never really been given the full reins. We'll see what the new coach does with him. And then, obviously, you get the wide receivers and tight ends. Packers went out and got a tight end this year that they really like, that they think is going to be the future of their tight ends. Until then, they have some veterans filling in. And then wide receivers, they're always a crapshoot. Dime a dozen. They're actually really easy to get. They're the easiest position to fill with free agents. So we'll see. You think we have a better shot at getting Call of Duty or Madden this year on Switch? Probably Call of Duty. Activision seems to like Nintendo a bit more than EA does. Is NFL US only? It's US only. Yes. I don't think there's a Canadian NFL team that I can think of off the top of my head. It's not like baseball where like there's the Blue Jays or basketball where there's the Raptors. But that rebuild won't work. Y'all have a great defense, but I don't think Rodgers will be good for much longer. Drew Brees' talent has fallen. He's just smart. When Rodgers' talent falls, you're screwed. Again, it's all about the mental game. If Matt LaFleur can make Rodgers play within himself, he'll be good for another 4 or 5 years. The question is, can anyone make Rodgers play within himself? Because Rodgers' talent is still there. He hasn't really lost anything talent-wise. He can still make all the throws. He can still scramble. He can still buy time in the pocket. The talent hasn't left. It's up here. If someone can fix up here, Rodgers will be fine. But we'll see. We'll see. It could never be fixed with Brett Favre. He just didn't care. He just played the way he played, and you live and you die with it. Hoping that they could fix it with Rodgers. When does Nintendo start their rebuild? Never. But the talent will leave. I mean, sure, age takes it away always. But like Drew Brees has been as great as he is because of his mind more than his talent his whole career. He's never been a strong-armed quarterback that can make every throw on the field. That's never been Drew Brees' game. He's always been, no, but I'm going to outthink you. He's like Peyton Manning. I'm not more skilled than the other quarterbacks. I'm just smarter. And that's what's enabled Drew Brees to last so long. I think Rodgers can be a very intelligent person, but translating that intelligence to the football field is a completely different thing. And part of it is not being arrogant. And he's so arrogant. Maybe Matt LaFleur can knock him down a few notches. I don't know. Maybe it's the perfect coach for Rodgers. Beats me. Not really worried about it because bottom line is I think at the end of Rodgers' contract we have a new quarterback anyways. So, I think we'll try to contend. We'll maybe make a playoff or two in the next 2 to 3 years, and then we're looking to the next quarterback anyways. So. Look at Tom Brady. He is not throwing the ball as well anymore. He used to have the skills, and he was smart. Not as smart as Drew Brees. I think Tom Brady's a pretty smart player. I think what helps Tom Brady is he has a coach that understands his diminished skill sets and keeps building the offense around that skill set. Does that make sense? Like, Brady has the same mind he's always had. But now there's some limitations with some of his throws. He airballs some throws, like throws them way over receivers' head. Like, so they build an offensive scheme around that. What also helps, by the way, Drew Brees and Tom Brady, and this is something that goes unsaid, is both teams run the damn football. They run the damn football. The Packers have, at least under Mike McCarthy, the inability to commit to the run, period. Some of it was Rodgers' fault for auto-limiting outer runs, but not all of it's on Rodgers. Some of it is that we don't game plan for anything but Aaron Rodgers. So I'm hoping that Matt LaFleur commits to the run a bit more. Whether it's out of the spread, whether it's under center, I don't care what it is. As long as they run the damn ball. Like, that helps open up the offense to so many more different play opportunities if you run the football. And the Saints and the Patriots run the damn ball, and they run it every year. And they have 1,000-yard rushers like every year. Denver's about to blow this game. Are they? Hold on. No, Denver's going to blow it? I thought when they went up like almost 20, they were going to be good. No way. No way. Is Denver about to get eliminated? Hold on. I'm a big NBA fan. I'm surprised I didn't have this game on in the background the whole time. Oh, my God. Thank you for getting I have the game open right now. Thank you so much for not being muted. That's okay, Hulu. Now I'm going to have my channel get copyright striked. A lot of people say teams don't commit to the run, but it's hard to do that without an offensive line. If you run the ball but don't go anywhere, you're not helping anyone. Green Bay Packers running backs. What's his name? Jones? I forget. Our number one running back on the Green Bay Packers. I can't remember his name. Dude, he was averaging like 4.5 yards a carry. We had no issue getting yards running the ball. We just didn't do it. It was never about our offensive line. Our offensive line's been terrible at protecting Rodgers, not terrible at run blocking. But again, you got to watch for Packers games, and you'd see like every time we actually hand the ball off. Maybe it worked because they were so shocked we actually handed the ball off. I have no idea, but it worked. Got to run the ball more. I'm tired of San Antonio. San Antonio's the Patriots of basketball. Well, they haven't been title relevant since when's that last year they won the title? when they beat LeBron. That was a while ago now. Like they've been consistently making the playoffs, but like Patriots win the title like every 3 years. They win the title. Like that's just the way the Patriots are. That San Antonio hasn't been a title contender in a while. Holy crap, it's a 4-point game. Damn. Oh yeah, Tom Brady still has some skill. You're not going to play in the NFL with zero skill. You're not going to be able to just, oh yeah, my mind is going to complete this pass, 35 yards on the field. You got to have some talent still, of course. Some ability. Holy crap. This is crazy. Wow. If San Antonio pulls this off, God, Denver, you had such a good year. To end it in the first round would be crazy. All right. Dude, Game 7s are intense. I love Game 7s, man. And, like, all the drama it takes to get to a Game 7. Like, if the Clippers had forced a Game 7 against Golden State, that would have been wild. But, as they say, over the course of 7 games, the better team should come out on top. We'll see. I know, obviously, the Spurs are an extremely well-coached team. Like, there's no denying that Pop's like the best coach in the NBA. So, because he doesn't have, Aldridge and DeRozan are some nice players, and he has some nice players, but it's not like he's rocking a bunch of stars, Well, there you go, Denver. Denver's got some young players, though. Don't some of them don't have, like Moutier. He doesn't have a ton of experience. Go Spurs. Anyways, as I'm caught up watching the game. Is there any other questions you got ahead? Anything you want me to answer? Or are we just about done with this stream? I'll give a shout out to some of our super chats here while I wait for some more questions to come in. We had a handful of super chats today. Let me double check here. Corey Bohm, about 43 minutes ago with his $2 Canadian super chat. Thank you so much. He did 2 of them, actually. He also did one an hour before that to get a song played. Then we had Prophet Slaughter with 2 $1 super chats. Thank you so much. Zilch Wolves also subscribed to us on Twitch yesterday. I missed that. Pretty cool. I kind of want to watch the end of the Spurs game, though. Do I have a text? Top 5 games you're hyped for in 2019 that haven't been released. Top 5. They're probably going to be all Nintendo games. Astral Chain looks very interesting. I really want to play that game. Pokemon Sword and Shield, just because I haven't gotten deep into like a traditional Pokemon game besides Let's Go in forever, and Let's Go was really good. I know it's not going to be like Let's Go, but I'm very curious about it because I have not gotten deep into a Pokemon game in like 20 years. So, Pokemon Sword and Shield just makes the list by default if my curiosity is piqued. Probably Luigi's Mansion 3. I've always loved the Luigi's Mansion games. I don't know if this is going to be better than the first one. I think the first one's been the best, but I love Luigi's Mansion. I'm going to be honest, Link's Awakening makes the list just because it was my first ever Zelda game, and now it's remastered, so hell yeah, Link's Awakening. Plus, Zelda's my favorite franchise. Man, Spurs just hit a 3? Jeez. After that, I'm not sure. There's a bunch of games I'm going to buy, but whether or not I am super hyped for them is a different story. Probably Fire Emblem 3 Houses will make the list. I really like Fire Emblem games, so that's probably going to be in my top 5. There's some other ones too. I mean, can't forget about Daemon X Machina or something like that, or Cadence of Hyrule. I mean, Super Mario Maker obviously is a big one. There's a lot out there. And that's just like, not even counting like the new Madden, new NBA game, Doom Eternal, blah, blah, blah. Bunch of games. Animal Crossing. Town, if Town even comes out this year. I think Town might get delayed. I remember watching the Pats-Packers Super Bowl back in, 95, 93? The Pats-Packers, that was 97? I'm trying to remember. There was the Pats-Packers Super Bowl that the Packers won. Here, actually, I have a Super Bowl hat from that, I think. Never mind. My 90s Super Bowl hat's missing. So the Packers went to back-to-back Super Bowls, and I think it was 97, 98. So in 97, they beat the Patriots, and in 98, they lost to the Broncos, if I remember. Why are you yelling for Yulia? She's sleeping, guys. She is sleeping. As far as I'm aware. The last time she was active on... Usually I can tell if she's sleeping or not. Last time she was active on Facebook Messenger was an hour ago, which means she's probably sleeping. She was tired. So, Untitled Goose Game. Untitled Goose Game. And she hasn't yelled at me. I know she'd yell at me. Why aren't you in bed? Because she's sleeping. I had a big nap today, so I'm not even tired right now. Which is good because this Spurs game... Oh, dude. Oh, he missed that dunk. God, that would have been sick if he dunked it over Jokic. Oh, I don't know if you can do that, though. He lifted himself up with the rim. Pretty sure you can't do that. Oh, and he missed the free throw. Rosen, no. He did use the rim. He pulled himself up with the rim. You can't do that. That's against the rules. Oh, man. But he missed the free throw. I guess ball don't lie, right? Ball don't lie. He missed the free throw. He makes the seconds. 4-point game. This is intense right now. Dude, this game needs to go to OT right now, dude. This series has been too good for it not to go to OT. This is what the playoffs are about, man. It's been the most exciting round one series. Oh, he missed the floater. Spurs got it. Oh, he's going to get a layup. Don't foul him. 2-point game. Here we go. Holy crud. Yeah, you can't use the rim. Yeah, you can't pull up with the rim like that. The question is, did the foul occur before he pulled it up? But I think it occurred after he pulled himself up. Either way, he missed the one free. God, it's a 2-point game. What is happening right now? Oh, I love the playoffs, man. Dude, basketball is my favorite sport. I don't know if you guys know this. The basketball is my favorite sport. Like, we talk about NFL because it's popular, and I like the NFL, but, dude, basketball is my favorite sport. NBA, man. Playoffs are like my prolonged Christmas. Besides video game stuff. Like, E3 is really like my... Love E3, but... Let's go. Oh, man. Man, this is intense. So what are you guys doing? What have you guys been playing lately? You guys always ask me questions. Let me ask you guys a question. What games have you guys been playing lately? Obviously, I've been playing a lot of Yoshi this month, so that's been kind of my go-to game. A little bit of NBA 2K19 as well. Playoffs are here, of course. What have you guys been playing? Played a little bit of Smash. Just a little bit after the 3.0 update, too. So tell me, what are you guys playing? What are your thoughts on what you're playing? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Blah, 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 blah. Ace Attorney. Are you playing the collection that came out for Switch for $30 this month? Yoshi and Crypt of the Necrodancer, which you absolutely... I know, Corey, you keep telling me I need to play it. You're like, I'll back you more on Patreon if you buy Crypt. I'm like, sorry. But I wish I had something else to play. It gets repetitive. There's other games to play. I don't know if you're into Western RPGs, but Dragon's Dogma, man. That might be the next game I'm picking up for Switch. Oh, that was a big shot. Well, can the Spurs score in less than 10 seconds? Nope. Hell of a block. They couldn't do it. That should be game, but we'll see. They're going to play defense for this possession. This is game if they make this shot. Oh, jeez. That's game. They missed. They don't have any timeouts? Were the Spurs out of timeouts? What was that? That is the weirdest end to a game I've seen. So they played defense for that whole... I thought they had at least one timeout left. They played defense for that entire possession, got the ball back with 4 seconds, and just dribbled it out? Like, why wouldn't you at least foul? Like, it's almost like they just gave up. That's a weird ending. Unless they didn't have any timeouts. I'm pretty sure they had. But if they didn't have any timeouts, why weren't they fouling? I would have been fouling, like, right away. Extend the game. Try to hit a few threes. Oh, that was a weird end. Oh, well. Denver gets to move on. Congrats. Now they got to play in like 2 days. Congrats, Denver. You guys had a hell of a season. Glad to see you make the second round. Good luck with, I think they have to face the Damian Lillard's team that I can't think of right now. The Raptors? Not the Raptors. Damian Lillard's team is up. Trailblazers. Jesus. So, Philip says he's been playing God Wars Forgotten and it just started a replay of Final Fantasy X. Okay. Cool. I've been playing Yoshi, Cuphead, Box Boy, Katana Zero. Mark Greenberg, you know that has to be a song. That has to be a song request. There's super chat or donation. Come on now. Let's see here. Now, there's been a lot of positive reviews for Dragon's Dogma on Switch. Now that I'm glancing at it. I'm not surprised. It's a good game. We already knew it was a good game before it even came to Switch. Yoshi review, I thought you said Friday. Yeah, I'm going to stop saying dates for things. I never got the session I needed to finish playing Yoshi. I am going to be playing it tomorrow during commercials, during the Bucks playoff game, and then for like a nice 2 or 3 hour session after the playoff game to get done with it. But I don't want to promise when it's coming. Besides, it'll be here before the end of the month because it is April's review. Mark Greenberg gives me $5. Says, you know what to play. All right, man. It's coming, Mark. Thank you for your $5, by the way. I appreciate the support that I had to coax out of you. Did I even know this is playing right? I don't even know. I'm not looking at the video thing. Limping down the way. Ones who came by yesterday. For I start to blush. And frankly, there is nothing I can say. Sure can, Mark. Here you go. Had a thing for pushing the extremes. And I'm about to lose some subscribers. I lose subscribers every time I play this song, I swear. Give me more of what I really need. No cock like horse cock. Send your asshole into shock and eat horse cock. Of course, cock. Grab the lube and slam the day away. My shaft is quivering and my balls are turning blue as I think of drinking a foot or even two of. Why do people unsubscribe over a song someone else requested? Because a lot of people think it's inappropriate, and we have children who watch my stuff, so can't blame them. More cock, horse cock. It probably doesn't help that I sing it because I know it so well. Your cock, a horse cock. You will never hear me saying nay. no cock like horse cock. Rub my dick inside a sock.
Don't stop now, horse cock. Stretch out my insides
And make me brave.
my lovely
Horse cock, horse cock. Ship-a-dip-ba-ba-ba-ba. Love that song. It's so underrated. It only has 4 million views on YouTube. Should have way more. What's up, BJ Hollowman? How's it going, my man? Probably got about 20 minutes left on the stream here. Probably cut her off at the old midnight. Maybe. Or maybe I'll stream even later. I don't know. Awkward time to join the stream. Go Bucks! Oh, my fiance's stirring. She's probably about to come yell at me. Come to bed. She must have woke up. Pokemon Let's Go review when? I thought you said January. I put out a review. Kind of. It wasn't really a full review, but... At some point, people... Tim Getty from Kind of Funny Games. At some point, people stopped saying pornos and started saying porn. That's true. I wonder when that happened. It happened before my time. People stopped using that word. I bet you woke up with the sound of the horse cock. Yeah, I'm sure that's what did it. What's new about this Switch Mini? Nothing. Do I need to sign up for your Patreon to play you online in NBA 2K? Yes. Now people are saying prawn. Is that what they say now? I don't know. I can't keep up with the youth. The youth these days. Yeah, bastards. Oh man. Crack my back. It's not really working. Is the Switch making another WWE wrestling game? Probably not. I'm gonna go with a no on that one. After what happened with the last one, I'm guessing no. Dude, someone spent 24 hours playing Minecraft VR. That might drive me crazy. What about Madden? What about it, man? Love me some Madden. I don't think we're going to get it because it's EA. But the Switch can run Mortal Kombat. It can run WWE. Lazy developers. One game does not relate to another game. We need to stop pretending that a 1v1 fighting game can relate to a different game using different engines, different developers, different studio. It's a bad relation to make. Well, mainly because of YouTube and people don't want to be wrongly demonetized. Oh, okay. Well, porn. If my stream gets struck down by YouTube, oh well. WWE are idiots. It's easy money. I mean, the first one didn't sell that well, but then again, it was also garbage. Play Yoshi. I am going to be playing Yoshi. Man, I can't believe my video yesterday has like 6,000 views. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Like, it's weird too, because it's like old news. It's basically what they said last year, but they just reconfirmed it. Pokemon Sword and Shield designed for Switch's handheld mode. 6,000 views. Like, what? And apparently it takes 6,000 views for me to get 500 likes or 150 likes. Remember, I keep saying, hey, can we get this video to 150 likes? Well, we did it with a video that had 6,000 views. Do, do, do. Ba, 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 ba. Will there ever be a Mario Odyssey 2? Probably. Next year. Good night, Nate. Ladies and gents, great stream. Later, man. It's been real, BJ. BJ Holloman. I should say Jared Brooks, I guess is the one I said good night. I don't know why I said his name. Probably because I was looking at it. All right. I think I'm going to call it quits, dude. The chat's going really slow. Hasn't been really a lot of questions. What is happening? All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Shout outs one more time to all of our super chatters, which it just changed over, so now it's not showing. But I know it was. Oh wait, now is it going to show? The live preview mode is like dead in Streamlabs. There it goes. So we had a $4.99, basically $5 super chat from Mark. Oh, Mark, I never did your shot. Hold on, Mark. It's a primetime stream, which means there's shots. Here you go, Mark. Cheers. Corey, who did two $2 Canadian super chats, and then Profit Slaughter with two $1 ones. All right, guys. Whew, it's been fun. See you tomorrow for my next video, which I don't even know what it's going to be yet. I have a few. I always have a few videos in the works, but it's a question of when am I going to finish them. So, all right.